Okay, so my excitement has somewhat settled. I am ready to sit in front of this microphone. I got a cat. I got some soda. I think I'm okay to make this video now. So I just got through watching the Sony E3 2016 conference. Oh my God. That, people, is how you put on a fucking show. That is how you put on a show. You open up with some epic ass orchestra, and then you show a game that people have wanted and have waited for over 5 years. That is how you start a fucking show. So, let's get into it. I might forget a couple of things. I might, because I'm like, my brain is like going everywhere. I'm rewatching trailers. I got a cat. So, when you got a cat here, it's hard to do stuff because, cats are awesome. So, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around all this amazingness. Plus, most of y'all who are new know I smoke a little weed sometimes. So, I'm a little high. So, it's a little hard to remember everything, but let's try it. So, we opened up with God of War. Holy shit, God of War. Already, we open up with one of their most epic and best titles ever. First party game, exclusive to the PlayStation platform. None of this PC bullshit. So, it's not bullshit. I'm happy things are coming to PC because I get to play all my Xbox games now. But yeah, this was huge. Now, I don't know who the fuck that little boy was. I don't know who he is to Kratos. Kratos definitely seems different. He definitely seems different. He seems, a little bit more humble, a little bit more less aggressive, which I'm all for it. I was cool with it not even being Kratos, but it is Kratos and it's a different Kratos. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him being not as crazy. He's a little older now, a little bit more wiser. I'm cool with that. Pass the fucking buck. Totally all right with that. So who is this kid? Who is this boy? I don't think it's his son, because obviously his wife was killed. Could it be Aphrodite's kid? I don't know. Who knows whose kid this is? It's a lot to think about. I have more questions now than I had before. Before it was just, when is God of War coming out? Now is this God of War 4? Is this a remake? Obviously, it's not a remake because he's older and shit, but it just said God of War. It didn't say 4. Is it its own standalone title? What is this? What is this that we're seeing? So, right off the bat, we open up with an amazing game. Then, I'm not going to go in any particular order here. I'm going by what I remember. So, I was always saying, especially I said it on the Weapon Wheel podcast on Saturday, that Horizon Zero Dawn looked really good. I was really excited for it when I first saw it. My hype kind of died down. And I was saying that, I kind of needed more. I kind of felt like the game needed more depth. I kind of feel like it felt really empty, and it didn't feel... It was just a new world, new character, some cool weapons, dinosaurs. It felt like it was just playing on its originality and didn't have much to it. Well, I finally got what I asked for. We got depth. We got a crafting system. We had a detailed map, like an Ubisoft kind of map. We have dialogue where you can select what you want to say. So the game has some soul now. The game is grounded. The game has some legs now. To me, I kind of feel like now it's definitely worth my time and my investment. So I'm all sold now for Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not going to question that game anymore. We have a date. Finally, oh my God. I was waiting for this fucking day for fucking years. Years. We finally have a day for The Last Guardian. October 26th, I believe. I know it's the end of October. Like I said, a lot of this is coming off the top of my head after all the excitement. I have to calm down a little bit. Whew. Okay, so we finally have a fucking date for The Last Guardian. Super excited for The Last Guardian. You guys who know me a long time know that, Shadow of the Colossus, Eco, and now Last Guardian, like some of my favorite games. Hopefully Last Guardian will be good. I have no doubt it will be good, but it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking great. Spider-Man game. Holy shit, did you see the graphics? Did you see the graphics on that Spider-Man game? Oh man, I've loved Spider-Man games since the PS2, since PlayStation, since fucking Carnage on Super Nintendo, Maximum Carnage. I've loved Spider-Man games always. There's very, very few I did not like. Very few. And those are more the recent ones. But I've loved almost every Spider-Man game that ever came out. I've played them religiously for hours. I cannot wait for this. This game looks fucking awesome. All these games that I'm naming that are coming out are fucking exclusive. They're exclusive. They're coming just to PlayStation, which, we didn't see a lot of that at Microsoft. Everything was exclusive, but it was also coming to PC. So it's like, it's not really exclusive. You can argue that it is, but it's not really, so it's got a lot of fucking, I don't know. I just feel like these games have a little bit more dedication to their platform. We have a Batman VR game coming, which looks really fucking cool. We didn't really see much gameplay, but we heard Mark Hamill talking about the Batman. They did a huge thing with VR, huge VR segment, which really played out more to me than anything, because I know a lot of you guys are not into VR. You all feel it's a gimmick. I've been on this VR hype train for a few years now. I have the HTC Vive here. I've already have this PlayStation VR pre-ordered. I'm really excited for it. We're getting some awesome games for VR. They showed another demo, which I honestly thought was a Condemned game. I was like, whoa, this looks just like a Condemned game. Boom, it turned out to be fucking Resident Evil 7. Holy shit, was I surprised. Resident Evil 7 took me right out of my fucking chair. Not sure if that's exclusive, but it's coming, and it's coming with a VR version, which I'm sure will be exclusive, where you can play the game from beginning to end in VR. I said this yesterday. This is what VR game need. They need full on 100%, console type experiences for VR to excel, because these little mini games that you can get on Steam and stuff are just not cutting it. But apparently we're getting Fallout 4 on the HTC Vive now. VR full length VR PlayStation games. A lot of those games they showed looked really awesome. There was another one, I think it was called Long Point or something like that. It was a space game where you were on Mars and you were in like a different area, and like you were off the grid or whatever you had, and shit just went fucking hit the fan. That looks fucking amazing, man. That looks really, really good. VR, PlayStation's coming with all the cool VR stuff. I'm really, really excited for that. Farpoint, I think it was called, now that I'm remembering. But there's a lot of shit coming. We saw Hideo Kojima. They brought Andrew House on stage just to introduce Hideo Kojima so he can show us his new game that he's been working on. We all know he's been working on a game. Norman Reedus is still with him. Norman Reedus is still on board. The game is called Death Stranding. It looked really, really weird, but Kojima's games are weird. So, but yeah, it looked fucking awesome. It looked really, really cool. So many awesome looking titles, all most likely exclusive. So many new IPs. We saw so many new IPs. I couldn't believe how many new IPs we saw. I was really upset that that Microsoft didn't show any IPs. I was really, really upset, like new stuff. But, whatever. And I'm glad we got them here on PlayStation. Let's see. We went through the Kojima game. Detroit Become Human. That game is coming to other platforms, but they showed it here. It looks really good. I'm a big fan of David Cage games. I know a lot of people can take them or leave them. I understand that. It might not be for you guys. Totally understand. But that's one of my kind of games. I love Beyond Two Souls. I loved Heavy Rain. I loved what was the one that came out back in the day for PlayStation 2 and PC? I forgot. It came out back in the day. It was another one of his games that was really awesome, which I'm surprised I don't remember, because that game was really good. But yeah, I love his games. His games are really good. I'm really excited for this. I really cannot wait to play it. It looks fucking amazing. Days Gone. Whoa. Days Gone, man. That is like my Last of Us fix that I've been asking for forever. Days Gone looks fucking incredible. It looks like Last of Us meets like the theme of Ride to Retribution, even though Ride to Retribution was awful. But it looks like Last of Us meets Bikers, meets like 28 Days Later. It looked really, really cool, really interesting. The way they played it, it just was fucking amazing, man. That game is definitely the game you guys want to get your eyes on. That game was just, holy shit, man. Days Gone was just so fucking unbelievable. Wow, I'm still blown away by this fucking conference. There was so much that they showed. Sony really killed it. They showed trash, like Star Wars and other bullshit. But come on, we kind of are going to expect that, They said they weren't bringing the PlayStation Neo to E3, so I didn't expect to see it. Although I was kind of hoping to see it still toward the end, only because Microsoft kind of was like, look, we got this shit, like best console ever, strongest console ever. I was kind of hoping we would see something, but they said they weren't going to do it, and I'm glad we got more games than we did, hardware reveals. They touched on VR, they touched on like some kid games, they touched on indies, they touched on first party titles, they touched on new IPs. Sony really knocked it out of the park in this conference. But I want you guys to understand, I am more of a Sony fan than I am an Xbox fan, but I try to call it down the middle. Like I try my best to call it down the middle. Sony just has a lot more games that I prefer to play. Sony has the VR, so I understand this might be coming off a little bias, but I prefer fucking Sony. What the fuck? It just is what it is. I understand a lot of these games aren't coming to PC, which is kind of sad, but I understand that's how Sony rolls. It's all good. I'll be able to play Microsoft's games on PC at least. And I'm not taking shots. I'm just, talking shit. I'm just talking some shit. It's a good day for gamers. It's a good day to own every console. I'm going to be honest. It's a good day to own all the consoles. Because honestly, the fanboy shit, you're only holding yourself back from greatness. If you're only playing PlayStation because you're just like, fuck Xbox, you're going to miss out on a lot of good shit. You're really going to miss out on a lot of good shit. And if you're holding out on buying a PlayStation because you're like, fuck PlayStation, Xbox for life, you are fucking stupid. You have not. Did you watch that conference? Do you see what you're missing? Are you really okay with what you're missing? Oh my God. Hey, if you're okay with missing these titles because you're an Xbox fanboy, then that's totally fine. Totally fine. You want to be a limited gamer. You don't want to go out there and enjoy everything that the industry has to offer. These games are grand. These games all look really good in the coming future, And I'm going to say something here, and this is probably the last time and only time you people will hear me say this. I'm watching the conference. I have my girlfriend here. I'm watching the conference, and they showed a first-person shooter that was taking place in space right after the VR stuff. And I was like, wow, this looks fucking awesome. This looks really good. And, the dialogue back and forth, the epicness of the space battle, jumping out of the spaceship, and then they're fighting in space using their jetpacks and all the shit, all their, space like travel equipment. Then they get into the ship, they take out all the bad guys in the ship, then they get back on board their craft and get back home. I was like, this game looks fucking amazing. I hope this is coming to VR. And it turns out it was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I actually like something from Call of Duty. Something's wrong here. Something's definitely wrong here. You'll never hear me say this again, ever. So, I like that. I liked what I saw for Call of Duty. I liked what I saw. And I'm fucking surprised as shit because I cannot stand that franchise. Turns out, you take the Call of Duty name off of it, it's not a bad game, right? But that shit was really epic. Really, really cool. Maybe I'll play it? Who knows? Who knows? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, great fucking show. Great fucking show. Oh my God. Good show. Anyway, guys, thank you for taking the time to listen. Check out my Microsoft thoughts and my day one E3 thoughts on the channel. Would really appreciate it. This is Demon Ralph signing out.